Maybe now let's move to Ecuador. Gabriel, maybe you can talk us through your production forecast for 2021.
Sure.
Kind of
the end of 2020, Ecuador had a 7% growth in their numbers. And when we're talking about production and Ecuador's numbers, we always have to separate the two, because Ecuador's numbers that are projected and published everywhere are export numbers. They are not production numbers. So it's always very important to make a separation and say, okay, so Ecuador increased 7% in their exports in 2020. What did they export? Because if we exported head on, of course, that number could match, the export number could match the production number. But in the case of 2020, as everybody mentioned, in the initial 6 months, all of the food service restaurants shut down. And that was our main production item. So that caused that our export product had to change. So we shifted from doing head-on and headless blocks to doing more value-added. So towards the end of the year, we actually increased our value-added production for 2020. And if we take that into consideration, Ecuador's export volume increased 7%, but our production increased 11 to 12% based on just production numbers and the amount of product that was peeled. So from that, we can say for 2021, there will be, of course, a redirection in the type of product we are doing, because the pandemic is still going on and we have to sell the product. The product that we were producing in the past is no longer a hot item in demand. So whatever the world is demanding, we cannot ignore the changes, ignore the need for value added, ignore how our market was affected as well. So we are definitely this year going to start to peel more, and it could be a bit, as far as production output, we feel we think we're strong, confident that we're going to grow between 5 to 10% in our production numbers. Now, in our export numbers, that's a whole different story, and we would have to analyze the export data that Ecuador posts to review if that number is actually possible, right? Because maybe the export numbers that Ecuador publishes will show that we are doing about the same as last year, but we are actually peeling a much higher percentage and leaving and not exporting in Ecuador the heads and the shells.
Roughly speaking, how much do you think of the production will be peeled in 2021 compared to 2020?
Well, I already saw an increase from 20, and I'm going to go back to 2019 to 2020 and then to 2021. In 2019, we peeled about 240 million pounds of raw material. Okay. We peeled about 350 to 360 million pounds of raw material in 2020. I expect that number to go up to 450 million pounds in 2021. So at least 1/3 of our export will be peeled. Well, when you do it in export numbers and you take the heads off, it'll probably be 300. It'll be 1/5. We're probably gonna do 1/5 exported, which actually means a lot more when you put the heads back on in production.
Okay, we've got a question here from Juan Manuel Reyes from Euracua Trading in Spain. What is your opinion about the possible evolution of export sales prices from Ecuador to China? Will the Ecuadorian farming industry continue to lose money? I guess, Gabriel, you're the man to take this.
The first part is will we return to China? I think yes. I don't think we're going to return to China in the volumes that we were in the past, but China is definitely an important market for us. And even though we have decreased our volume there, our presence is well accepted among consumers. So they want our product. So that's the first part of it. And then the second part of it, will we continue to lose money to sell to China? We're not losing money to sell to China. Otherwise, we wouldn't have grown what we grew. So if you were losing money, you don't grow and lose more money every year, because it just doesn't fall out of the tree. You have to turn a profit. So we found a way to be profitable selling to China head on. Yes, over the years, they have crunched our margins, and prices have decreased every year after our volume has increased. But I think it's fair to say that we are definitely going to be in China, and we are going to continue to supply China. Maybe not as much, and hopefully not as much as we were supplying them before, just because of a weight issue, of a balance in your exports. You want to be balanced. You want to take, in my opinion, we want to have China, USA, or be it 25, 25, 25, and find others in a 25%, something like that. So I think that we are going to go back into China for sure, and we're going to be strong there as well.